Hey, I'm Andy MacNeil, host of the Puck Portfolio, Canada Sports Betting's new hockey podcast. I'll be here weekdays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcast to provide NHL projections, betting advice, and strategies to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. Happy Monday. The grind officially starts with the first full week of NHL hockey. Please like the video and subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel if you have not already. It will help out a ton. You guys have already shown me a ton of support already, and I thank you for that. But you gotta keep it up, okay? So it was an opening week that was kind of up and down for me from a betting perspective, but things did end on a high note with the Senators win over the Tampa Bay Lightning on Sunday. They were without sniper Steven Stamkos, and on top of already missing starting goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky. So when that news broke that Stamkos would be out, it was a bit of an easy ad. It was a late addition to my betting card, though, and a good reason to follow me on Twitter at Digital Gambler. Sometimes I'll have bets on the weekend that did not make it onto the card onto Friday's show for one reason or another. Maybe the game is too far out. Maybe there's some information that I'm still waiting on, or maybe an injury will motivate me to make a bet like it did on Sunday. Or I might try to get a head start on the week by making a bet for Monday on Sunday. I'm already on the New Jersey Devils to beat the Florida Panthers on Monday, minus 175 at Bet99. Let's first take a look at my projected odds for Monday. We have the Devils sitting at minus 198. That's if Akira Smid starts in goal. The Devils will have about a 66.4% chance of winning. However, if Vitek Vanacek gets the nod, I think their projected odds should shoot up to around minus 214. Vanacek is the better goaltender of the two, at least right now, in my opinion, according to my assessment of things, right? So I've got Vanacek a little bit higher than, or a lot higher, I guess, than Akira Schmid here. And if that's the case, this is an even better bet. But I still like it either way. The Panthers, they haven't been terrible, but they've been mediocre, and that's probably not going to cut it against the New Jersey Devils. They've been unlucky, but they just don't have the horses right now. New Jersey looked off in their season opener, but they had things going against the Red Wings in the next game, and they're a good bet up to minus 184. That's assuming Schmid starts. Could get a little bit higher than that. If it is Vitek Vanacek. But like I said, he's in the starter's crease at morning skate, so a good chance he is going to start, but not a confirmation by any means at this time. And we've seen things switch before, and we'll see things switch again this season. So let's move on. But before we get to the rest of the games on Monday's schedule, I want to take a look back at my betting record from the past week. And like I said, things kind of went up and down for me, mostly down, but ending Sunday on a high note was nice. So we'll take a look at that. So this is the team by team breakdown here. You see, I had three bets on the Senators, two went my way, one did not against the Hurricanes. For a total of 1.84 units. Some decent closing line value, all things considered, about 9 cents on average. Now, cents are not the best way to relay this information, but I think it does. It'll make sense for this purpose and give people an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get better odds than the game odds that will be listed when the puck drops. So if I made a bet and those odds moved in my direction, or comparatively the odds that I have are much better than the odds at some of the sharper sports books, like let's say a Pinnacle Sports, which has a really efficient NHL line, then I'm doing all right. But as you can see here, I think I'm not really happy about how much I've been beating the closing line. You see, CLV frequency, that is closing line value frequency, almost 67% of the time, but that's not good. I want upwards of 80, 75, 80% to make me happy. And I want to see that closing line value number, the third one from the bottom here on the screen. I want to see that tick up, upwards of 2.5 to 3% or more. That would be ideal, right? So 4-5, 1-4, lost 5, finished minus 2.4 units, about a minus 19.6% return on investment. Like I said, not a great start by any means. I wasn't expecting to set the world on fire though. In my first week here, like I said last week, many times. The lines for last week's games had been out for weeks, if not months. So it was pretty hard to find some really good value. But hopefully, going forward, the strategy of looking ahead to the next day's games will pay off for us. So let's get into Monday. As always, odds are subject to change. I'm going to pull up my projections here again on the screen. We've got the Red Wings. They've looked decent so far, and I think they'd be a good bet against the Blue Jackets if Ville Husso was in goal. But as of right now, I've got James Reimer projected to make his first start as a member of the Red Wings, and he's a couple of rungs below Husso. I think Detroit would be closer to minus 130 if Husso was in goal, but you can knock about 10 cents if it ends up being Reimer. No bet at this moment, but it does look like Spencer Martin will make his first start in a Blue Jackets uniform, and in that case, it might have been a good bet regardless. But with the uncertainty surrounding who Detroit's goaltender is going to be, it was pretty tough to justify making a bet when the odds had seemingly already moved in anticipation of it maybe being Ville Husso. So no bet at this time. And I might have a bet here on the Rangers. It does look like Igor Shesterkin will start. I'm worried about a Jonathan Quick start. He hasn't started for the Rangers yet, so we could possibly see him in goal pretty soon here, and that's got me wary of betting the Rangers. Right? I had Karel Vejmelka penciled in to start against Igor Shesterkin. But it looks like it's going to be Connor Ingram. Vejmelka, he's going to start tomorrow on Tuesday in Long Island against the Islanders. So a little bit of intrigue there for sure. But the model has this game projected at minus 240 in favor of the Rangers. But like I said, I'm wary of betting the Rangers until there is an official confirmation that Igor Shesterkin is going to be in goal. Because if you take Igor out of the net and put Jonathan Quick in, the Rangers go from minus 240 to somewhere around the minus 195 range. So a big difference. But there are some decent prices out there on the Rangers right now. So I think if we head on over and maybe just look at like a Betway here, they've got the Rangers listed at minus 200. So I might throw the Rangers at a good price into some parlays if nothing else. Maybe some two teamers with some other bets that I like, because I do think the Rangers will roll tonight. But anyway, anyway, I think that it is kind of imperative that I wait for an official confirmation that Shesterkin is going to be in. But at the very least, I think I will throw the Rangers at minus 200 or somewhere around there into maybe some fun parlays tonight. I've got some games that I've got some small edges on, some games that I've got some bigger edges on. So I might be able to make some two or three teamers here that'll keep me interested on a Monday night. But anyway, let's move on to the Maple Leafs. I know that you guys are all looking at that as a big one because Connor Bedard is coming to town. We don't know if Taylor Hall is going to be in the lineup. I've got him out right now. Joseph Wall looks like he's going to make his first start for the Maple Leafs. So we've got minus 310 according to the projection model in favor of the Maple Leafs. That means they're going to win the game almost 76% of the time. No bet here. I'm interested to watch this thing. I mean, is Ryan Reeves going to fight every game? Is it Austin Matthews going to score a hat trick every game? Who knows? But it's been fun watching the Maple Leafs so far. For one reason or another, it's been super entertaining. So I'm interested to watch this game and check out Bedard. He didn't have a great night in Montreal over the weekend, but maybe he'll shine in Toronto as a big underdog with the Blackhawks. And after that, we've got the Flames who, God, oh my God, same old Flames. Lots of shots, not a lot of good looks, and it came back to bite them against the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday. I had the Flames, really good number. I managed to get plus 107 early Saturday morning. The Flames close as basically a pick 'em, so around minus 110 or a little bit higher than that. So really good number relative to what was available when the game actually got going. But yeah, Calgary came out. They controlled the play. They did not really generate a whole lot of great scoring chances, though. And before you know it, the Pittsburgh Penguins started to generate some pretty good scoring chances. Jacob Markstrom did his best to keep the Flames in it, who were leading. But the third period was just a total disaster. And Calgary kind of got what they deserved there. So not interested in betting the Flames. I think it's going to be a Dan Vladar start here. The Flames are on a road trip. At some point, Jacob Markstrom's going to need a night off. He's kind of gotten, he's kind of been put through the ringer already this season. He's been playing pretty good. But Dan Vladar is going to get a start at this point, right? So I've got the Flames and Capitals basically as a 50-50 game here. No value. If Markstrom does end up starting for the Flames, that would move Calgary to being a slight favorite, somewhere between -110 and -115, but that's not going to be enough to justify a bet because that's basically where they're currently at right now. If we look at the odds over at Bet99, we can see that the Calgary Flames are -120 and the Washington Capitals are even money at +100. Bet365, they've got +110 on the Washington Capitals with Darcy Kemper expected to start in goal. That is kind of interesting to me. The Capitals have looked bad, but the Flames are their own worst enemy. So possibly a bet on the Capitals. I'm not going to lock it in right now. Let's see. Let's see what happens. What shakes out with the goaltenders. I think that it's Capitals or nothing though at this point, given just how, like I said, the Flames are their own worst enemy, and I'm gonna try to avoid betting on this team. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough going betting on the Flame. We will move on to Tuesday because Tuesday is an interesting slate. There's some interesting games that I think offer some betting value. Unfortunately, the markets aren't necessarily widely available. I've seen some books put games up and take them back down for Tuesday. So we'll see what we got here. I can bring up Tuesday's games. Look at that. Look at that. And first up, right away, let's get right into my favorite bet for Tuesday, shall we? Look, you know who it was already. You already knew. You had the idea. I don't. I try to coordinate this stuff to line up with what I'm betting. So I've got the Sabres jersey on. I've got the Sabres hat on, and I'm betting the Sabres. I grabbed +130 this morning at Bet99. They've taken the market down though, so there's actually no games currently available for Tuesday at Bet99. They had moved down to +115, maybe back up to +120. It's been bouncing around. Like I said, nothing over there right now, but I've got the Sabres projected at +102. So that means that this is just about a coin flip, right? And I don't know what's going on here because you've got the Sabres over at TonyBet +121 on the money line to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's a great bet. I would bet this one all the way down to +110, really, but for a much smaller stake. I've got 2 units on the Sabres at +130. It's not something I'm in love with, but have you seen how bad the Lightning have been? Like, oh my God, here's their game Sunday against the Senators. That blue line you see on the screen, that's the Senators' shot attempts. The orange line, that's the Lightning shot attempts. And very clearly, the Senators had their way with the Tampa Bay Lightning on Sunday, and it's kind of been the case here. Look at this stuff. That is Evolving Hockey's expected goals model right here. And if you notice, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are shaded blue on the screen, they're sitting third worst in expected goals at 5-on-5. That's for and against. Not a good look for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And as a result, I really like the Sabres here as a dog. I think this is a coin flip game. We don't know if Steven Stamkos is going to be back in the lineup. He's got some kind of leg injury. It doesn't sound like it's too serious. It's something minor. So, there's about a 50-50 chance, I would say, that he's in the lineup. And that's kind of what I've factored in, right? So I still think the Sabres, though, are a good value bet, regardless of whether Stamkos plays. If he does, because I'm kind of only factoring him in at 50-50 right now. Stamkos being in would only move the line to around +107 on the side of the Sabres. So I think there's some value on Buffalo regardless. They have not looked great, but they've looked better than the Lightning in a lot of ways. And if Stamkos isn't in the lineup, then I think the Sabres should be a small favorite. So let's go Buffalo +130 down to +110, +121 out there right now. So shop around. look for the best price and bet on the Sabres. Sports books are going to catch on. They're going to realize just how bad this Tampa Bay Lightning team is right now. And you take Steven Stamkos out there, really puts the pressure on the Lightning here. So I like the Sabres. Let's go Buffalo. That is my best bet for Tuesday. So up next, it's the Minnesota Wild and the Montreal Canadiens. Now, Matthew Boldy suffered an injury in Saturday's game against the Maple Leafs for the Wild. It's going to be a big blow if he's out for any length of time. The Wild already don't have enough scorers them. So the projection model sees the Wild as a minus 140 favorite in Montreal. Assuming Marc-Andre Fleury is in goal for the Wild. He's the hometown guy. I expect him to be in goal tonight. So no play there right now. Like I said, things are just starting to populate here at certain sports books. But if we look over here at North Star bets, they've got Minnesota at minus 141. So at first blush, does not look like there's going to be any value betting on the Minnesota Wild, and alternatively, no value betting on the Montreal Canadiens. But there might be value betting on the Vancouver Canucks here by the looks of things, because I've got the Canucks projected at minus 149 American odds. So yeah, there is some value betting on the Vancouver Canucks at minus 124. I've got the Canucks projected at minus 149 if Thatcher Demko is in goal versus Samuel Urson, who I think will get a start at some point here for the Flyers. I know the Flyers internally seem to be very high on him. They did give him that very player-friendly contract last season. So we'll see what happens with the Flyers and the Canucks goaltending situation, but that is a line to watch according to the projection model. I'm not going to lock it in just yet. We'll see what happens when other sports books release some lines for the games on Tuesday. But like I said, it's a value play if Thatcher Demko is in goal. If the Smith is in goal, I still think there is some value there, but with multiple goaltending combinations possible, then it's a little bit hard to put a price on this one. I don't want to get too confusing trying to relay all the different changes that could happen, but definitely a one to watch for sure. I know people are excited about Vancouver, but look, they've only beaten the 32nd place Edmonton Oilers 2 times. It's not a big deal, right? So let's move on. We'll talk about the Arizona Coyotes and the New York Islanders. I mentioned earlier that Karel Vejmelka, I had him penciled in to face off against the Rangers and Igor Shesterkin. But, how do you pick when you got to face Igor Shesterkin and maybe Ilya Sorokin, arguably the two best goaltenders in the NHL? This is the second half of a back-to-back for the Coyotes. It's going to be a tough one, but with Vejmelka in goal, I think there are some good opportunities, typically when sportsbooks put up both games on a back-to-back set. And that's the case here. I think the Coyotes are worth about a half unit at plus 210. Now they're sitting down at plus 195. If Simeon Varlamov gets the start for the Islanders, I would still be interested in the Coyotes at that price. But if it's Ilya Sorokin, well, I'm not. I'm only interested in a small play on the Coyotes at around plus 215. So things are moving fast, right? Especially at this time of day. Early lines, one of the reasons why you want to try to get in on early lines if you can, is that sportsbooks, I don't think, really have a great idea how to price some of these games. Look at the Tampa Bay Lightning and Buffalo Sabres. Maybe way off on that one. We'll see closer to game time, but there's going to be opportunities here to grab some good bets on some good games if you're looking a day ahead, and that's the strategy that we're going to try to keep going with here on the Puck Portfolio. But let's check out the projections maybe one last time here. So we got the Islanders at minus 199 if Sorokin is in goal, but obviously that's going to tick down to around plus 175 if it is Simeon Varlamov. So I would be interested in the Coyotes at around plus 195 if that's the case, but we'll have to wait and see because it is the second half of a back-to-back. The Islanders are not expected to announce a starting goaltender anytime soon, and hopefully there will be some value left on the Arizona Coyotes when that happens. But all right, I'll quickly run through the remaining games here. I've got the Edmonton Oilers projected to win the game about 60.7% of the time. over the Nashville Predators on Tuesday. That means their money line odds should be around minus 154. That's a big difference from what I'm seeing at North Star Bets right now. We'll wait for that one to populate at some other sports books. But right now, the Oilers looking like a pretty short favorite here at minus 120. And even if Jack Campbell is in goal, that's a really short price. And I would look to bet on the Oilers getting in the win column finally, if that one populates at some other sports books here throughout the day. So Edmonton, Vancouver, both money lines that you'll want to watch going forward here for sure. I think that there are some other games worth watching, but that's pretty much it for Tuesday in terms of the look ahead. You've got the Los Angeles Kings, Pierre-Luc Dubois returning to Winnipeg. I don't think Jets fans are going to miss him too much given how their team has been performing to start the season in the early going. Expect Connor Hellebuck to be in goal. The Jets are seen as minus 113 favorites according to the projection model. My gut tells me that's a little light, especially with the injury to Victor Arvidsson, who's now listed month to month after having back surgery. But it's not too far off where the betting market currently is this on this one, so I'm not too concerned. No bet as of now. And then you've got Colorado and Seattle, a rematch in the first round of the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. Maybe that is what needs to get the Kraken motivated here to score some goals. So far, they've scored just 2 goals in 3 games, and while they've looked like a solid team at times, there were yeah, times when I'm really just started to get concerned that they're going to be in trouble long term in terms of their shooting and saving luck. The projection model sees the Kraken as a plus 125 underdog on Tuesday, which is mostly in line with where the sports books are at. So no bet on the Kraken right now, and I'm very thankful for that. Carolina at San Jose, the Hurricanes, they look past the Anaheim Ducks, or it looked like they did at least on Sunday. They got blown out. I doubt they'll make the same mistake 2 games in a row, especially against an inferior opponent. Once again, like the San Jose Sharks. The projection model does not see any discrepancies in how this game is currently priced, though. Carolina is about as big of a favorite as they should be. The projection model has them at minus 257, giving them a 72% chance of beating the Sharks. Dallas and Vegas. This is going to draw a lot of attention. It's going to be, one of those games that gets talked about a lot. It's a marquee matchup between two teams that met in the playoffs last season. But will Rupe Hintz play? That is the big question. If he does, I think the Stars should be around a plus 115 underdog. But that's probably not going to be enough to make a bet on them to win the game. If he's not in the lineup, Vegas, they'll be deserving of that minus 130 price tag. But once again, probably not a reason to make a bet on either side. That's it for Monday's edition of the Puck Portfolio. I'm on the Devils at minus 175 and minus 167. I'm on the Sabres at plus 130, good down to plus 110 on the Buffalo Sabres to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'll be back on Tuesday with another run through of Tuesday's games. Look ahead to Wednesday's games and much more on the Puck Portfolio. Thanks for joining me.